What if one small handful of something already sitting in your pantry could support your heart, your brain, your gut, and your sleep, all at the same time, all overnight? I'm talking about walnuts. About 14 halves, roughly a small handful, eaten once a day. Not a supplement, not anything expensive, just walnuts. And I know what you might be thinking. Nuts, fat, calories. Isn't that the thing people are told to watch? Stay with me, because once you understand what's actually inside a walnut and why it's different from almost every other nut, this is going to make a lot of sense. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how many to eat, when, and one important caution if you take certain medications. Welcome back to Forever Young Health. Today, instead of a list of many foods, we're doing something different, going deep on just one. Because sometimes understanding why one food works is more useful than a long list you'll forget by tomorrow. We're covering what walnuts do for your heart, your brain, your gut, and your sleep, the real research behind each one, and exactly how to eat them. Here's the thing that surprised me most researching this video. Walnuts aren't just a healthy nut in a generic sense. They're the only common nut with a meaningful amount of a specific plant-based omega-3 called ALA, alpha-linolenic acid. Think of it like this: almost every nut has some healthy fat. But walnuts have a specific type most others don't carry in any meaningful amount. That's not marketing. That's just their chemistry. And it's the reason walnuts show up differently in the research than almonds, cashews, or pistachios. Let's start with your heart, because this is where the research is strongest. Across many controlled studies, regularly eating walnuts is linked to lower total cholesterol and lower LDL, the bad cholesterol, without lowering your protective HDL. Some research also found a meaningful drop in triglycerides. Here's a specific number worth knowing. Research suggests that for every gram of ALA you eat per day, there's an association with a lower risk of dying from heart disease. A single ounce of walnuts, about 14 halves, contains roughly 2.5 grams of ALA, more than a full day's target in one small handful. Walnuts have also been shown to improve how well your blood vessels relax and dilate, something researchers call endothelial function. In plain terms, healthier, more flexible blood vessels. Before we go further, I want to pause and be clear about something important. This video is for general education only. It's not personalized medical advice. Walnuts are safe and beneficial for most people, but there's a real caution coming later in this video for anyone on certain medications and a hard stop for anyone with a tree nut allergy. Please don't make changes to your diet or medication based on this video alone. Talk to your doctor first, especially if you have any of the conditions we'll cover. Now, let's keep going. Here's where it gets interesting for anyone thinking about memory and focus as they age. Walnuts carry a distinctive combination of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds called polyphenols, along with a form of vitamin E specific to walnuts. Researchers believe it's this combination, Vitalbeschutz, the omega-3s plus the polyphenols together, that may be behind findings linking regular walnut consumption to improved brain function and slower age-related mental decline. It's worth being honest here, this research is still developing, and no single food prevents cognitive decline on its own. But the consistency of these findings across multiple studies is genuinely one of the more encouraging patterns in nutrition research for brain health. This is the one most people have never heard, and it surprised me too. In a clinical trial, adults who ate walnuts daily showed measurable increases in beneficial gut bacteria, specifically the kind linked to producing butyrate, a compound your gut cells use for energy, and that supports a healthy gut lining. Walnuts appear to act almost like a prebiotic, feeding the good bacteria already living in your digestive system. This connects to something we've talked about before on this channel. Gut health influences far more than digestion alone. It's tied to inflammation levels throughout the body. If this is the kind of deep dive you'd like to see more of, one food explained thoroughly, instead of another long list, let me know by hitting that like button. It genuinely helps this reach more people who'd find it useful. Here's a question for the comments. Do you already eat walnuts regularly, or is this something new you're considering adding? I read every comment, and it tells me what to cover next. And if someone in your life is always looking for simple, real ways to support their heart and brain, share this with them. If you're new here, subscribe to Forever Young Health. We cover real, research-backed health topics like this every week, made specifically for adults 60 and up. Now let's talk about sleep, dosage, and one important caution. Walnuts contain small amounts of melatonin, your body's natural sleep hormone, along with magnesium, which supports the nervous system's ability to relax. To be clear, the melatonin amount in walnuts is small. This isn't a replacement for good sleep habits, and it's not going to work like a sleep aid. But as part of a small evening snack, alongside their other benefits, it's a reasonable, gentle addition, rather than something to expect dramatic results from on its own. Here's the practical part. Research generally points to about 1 ounce of walnuts a day, roughly 14 halves, or about a small handful that fits in your palm. Some research on heart disease risk specifically looked at people eating walnuts or other tree nuts around 5 times a week. Timing is flexible. Morning in oatmeal or yogurt, as an afternoon snack, or a small handful in the evening all work. There isn't strong evidence that one specific time of day matters more than simply eating them consistently. One easy way to work them in: chopped into oatmeal or yogurt, tossed on a salad, or simply kept in a small portioned bag for a grab-and-go snack. This is important, so let's go through it specifically, not just as one general warning. If you have a tree nut allergy, this is an absolute stop. Avoid walnuts entirely, and speak with your doctor about alternatives if you're interested in similar benefits from another source. If you take warfarin or another blood-thinning medication, walnuts contain vitamin E and ALA that can have a mild blood-thinning effect of their own. This doesn't mean you need to avoid walnuts, but it does mean consistency matters. Don't swing from eating none to eating a large amount, since sudden changes can affect how your medication behaves. Mention regular walnut consumption to your doctor, the same way we've talked about with leafy greens and vitamin K. If you have difficulty chewing or swallowing, or wear dentures, whole walnuts can be a choking hazard. Finely chopped or ground walnuts stirred into oatmeal or yogurt are a safer way to get the same benefits. If you're managing your weight closely, walnuts are calorie-dense. The research showing cholesterol benefits generally comes from people who added walnuts without significantly increasing their total daily calories, meaning walnuts often replaced other snacks rather than being added on top of everything else. I want to say this plainly: walnuts are not a magic food, and no single food replaces medication, exercise, or the rest of a balanced diet. What I find genuinely encouraging about walnuts specifically is how many different systems in the body, heart, brain, gut, even sleep, show up connected to one small, inexpensive, easy-to-find food. That's rare. It's not a reason to expect a dramatic transformation. It's a reason to consider a small, realistic addition to what you're already doing. Let's bring everything together one more time. Walnuts are the only common nut with a meaningful amount of ALA, a plant-based omega-3. That ALA, combined with walnuts' unique polyphenols, is linked to lower LDL cholesterol, lower triglycerides, and healthier blood vessel function for your heart. The same compounds are linked to improved brain function and slower age-related mental decline. Walnuts also appear to act as a prebiotic, supporting beneficial gut bacteria. Small amounts of melatonin and magnesium may gently support relaxation and sleep. The target is about 1 ounce or 14 halves most days of the week, and there's a real caution for tree nut allergies, blood thinner medications, chewing difficulty, and close calorie tracking. We covered a lot about what walnuts do inside your body, but we didn't cover what happens when you eat them the wrong way. The same way we talked about blueberries and bananas needing the right approach in an earlier video. Next time we're going deep on one more single food. This way, stay subscribed so you don't miss it. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this gave you one small, real thing to add to your routine, that's exactly why I make these videos. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in